Good morning, it's Pastor Marty from the Afternoon Drive. Well, the lawless Democrats have decided that they are going to lecture us on the law. Don't you just love that? So they're going to hold President Trump and Attorney General Barr to the law. But here's the issue. Attorney General William Barr is following the law. The Democrats want him to follow their version of the law, which is not actually the law. So while they grandstand, while they hold press conferences, while they even vote on Capitol Hill to censure and to hold in contempt Attorney General William Barr, as Jerry the Nads Nadler waddles out before the press corps talking about that we have an issue on our hands as they continually lecture us to no end. I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of Democrats talking to us about the Constitution and the law. This is the same group of people that talk about America being immoral while they defend and actually propagate and promote abortion up to and past birth. They promote and legitimize and normalize every type of perversion out there, right up to 45-year-old men who decide they want to be 12-year-old little girls. And the Democrats are okay with that, and let those dudes in the same girls' room with your daughter. And now they lecture us on the law. And we have Jerry the Nad Nadler saying, we're in a constitutional crisis.
We've talked for a long time about approaching a constitutional crisis. We are now in it.
Not so fast, Jerry. In fact, those are the words of Bob Woodward. Now, as you know, Mr. Woodward is no Trump fan. He's no Trump supporter. Certainly did not vote for Trump. He's Mr. Watergate. And he's the one that had been talking about collusion and even wrote a book. And now all of a sudden, he's starting to do a 180. Now, initially, I thought it was a CYA move when he talked about how corrupt the Steele dossier was and can't believe that he and the New York Times and others fell for it. And now for him to come out and say, Mr. Nadler, we are not at a constitutional crisis. You gotta understand something. This guy has been the darling of the mainstream lying legacy media for decades. I mean, he toppled Richard Nixon. He did. And he has been one of the favorite go-tos to talk to on PMS, NBC, CNN, and now he's out there saying this is not a constitutional crisis, that actually Attorney General William Barr is within his constitutional right. He didn't have to release any of the report. And the fact that he released 90% of it, and the other 10%, you can read it, you just can't have your own copy. You can read it in a confined area where you can't walk off with it. Why? Because there is sensitive information in there regarding people's identities and how the information was collected. So William Barr is within his constitutional purview not to release any of it. He released most of it, and yes, now President Trump is invoking executive privilege. Now, why is he doing that? Because he needs to. He didn't invoke any executive privilege during the entire Mueller witch hunt. And the Democrats cannot get over the fact that Bob Mueller didn't actually give them in writing what they wanted. Yet that's how they're out there spinning it now. They're actually out there. Chris Christie got in an argument with one of the commentators from PMS NBC. You know, she's out there saying, well, you know, this Mueller report proves collusion. It proves obstruction. And Christie's like, what do you want, crack? It doesn't prove any of those things. In fact, it discredits all of that. And Attorney General William Barr was in his purview to find that the president had not obstructed justice. In fact, Mueller put it back on Barr, and Barr made his decision. And the Democrats don't like it. So what does the Attorney General get for following the law?
Bill Barr is following the law, and what's his reward? Democrats are going to hold him in contempt.
Now, you and I know what this is. This is nothing more than their excuse to impeach President Trump.
Every single day, the president is making a case. He's becoming self-impeachable.
Now we have a subpoena for Donald Trump Jr. How many times has this guy got to talk about what happened that day in Trump Tower, which even Mueller exonerated him on? We now have a Russian spy, well, a Russian individual who was a spy for the FBI, trying to be planted within the Trump campaign by the FBI. James Comey, spy master, orchestrated all of that. And yet these people have the audacity, night after night after night, to appear on cable shows, to lecture on the college circuit, to write books, to personally make money off of their coup. That ought to incense you. That ought to anger you. That this is the vile swamp, and the Democrats are giving these individuals like James Comey, Robert Mueller, giving these people cover, giving these people sanctuary, and going after people like William Barr, who actually want the law followed. Can you imagine what the Democrats would be doing right now if this was President Hillary and we found out that the FBI tried to put a spy in her campaign? If they had used a phony dossier to spy on her and had an attorney general trying to follow the law that the Republican Congress found in contempt? Democrats and the swamp dwellers, that would be the never-Trumpers, certain members of the intel community that were weaponized under George W. Bush and Barack Obama. These people, they're not super patriots. They're treasonous. They're treacherous. And it is time that this type of behavior be terminated. That's why it's being exposed, and that's why this 2020 election is crucial. Don't laugh off the libloons and the Democratic clown car. Don't laugh off Joe Biden, and don't mistake me on my warning about Hillary. These people are rabid. They've got the media pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing their narrative. And there might be some crack and pull away from Trump, not over people believing it and all this nonsense, but maybe just being tired of the drama and thinking that maybe if Trump went away, the drama would end. What you don't understand is your freedom will end. Your rights will end. Because if they can do this to a sitting president, what do you think they can do to me and you? That's it. That's my rant for today. Please like this, subscribe if you haven't, smack the bell to get my next rant.